What if you could live in a palace in the heart of London for a tiny fraction of the market price? For Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, this is reality. While their father, Prince Andrew, faces public disgrace, his daughters continue to enjoy a life of luxury in royal residences. It's all thanks to a secret deal that has the British public asking one simple question: who is really paying the price for royal privilege? The story of the York princesses is one of gilded cages, shocking financial perks, and the long, dark shadow cast by their father's scandals. As King Charles III tries to steer the monarchy toward a more modern, streamlined future, the curious case of his nieces and their palatial London homes raises uncomfortable questions about fairness, transparency, and what it even means to be a working royal today. While doors are slamming shut for Andrew, his daughters still seem to have a master key. We're about to expose the controversial rental deal, explore the motivations of the disgraced prince who brokered it, and ask what the future holds for two princesses caught between their birthright and the court of public opinion. First, let's appreciate the real estate at the heart of this. These aren't just any London flats. They are apartments and cottages nestled within the historic, secure walls of Britain's most famous palaces. And for the sisters, they serve not as primary homes, but as incredibly prestigious London bolt holes. Princess Beatrice has an apartment at St. James's Palace, the most senior royal palace in the United Kingdom. Built by Henry VIII in the 1530s, it's the formal setting for the Accession Council, and its Tudor gatehouse is an iconic London landmark. To have an address here is to be at the very epicenter of royal life. While tourists snap photos outside, Beatrice has a key to the private world within, with neighbors like Princess Anne. It's a powerful symbol that, despite not being a working royal, she remains part of the inner circle. Meanwhile, Princess Eugenie has Ivy Cottage, a picturesque three-bedroom property on the grounds of Kensington Palace. This is the same estate where the Prince and Princess of Wales live. While Ivy Cottage is more modest, its location is everything: a secure, private haven. Before Eugenie and her husband, Jack Brooksbank, moved in after their 2018 wedding, the cottage needed extensive renovations to fix a major damp problem. And though they now split their time with a primary residence in Portugal, Ivy Cottage remains their UK base. Here's the kicker: both princesses have substantial primary homes far from London. Beatrice and her husband live in a £3 million home in the Cotswolds, while Eugenie and Jack are based in Portugal for his job. This makes their palace home. This sweetheart deal is playing out against the backdrop of King Charles' long-stated goal for a slimmed-down monarchy. The idea is simple: a smaller, cheaper group of senior royals carrying out official duties, reducing the burden on the taxpayer. But this vision is clashing with the reality of his nieces living in subsidized palace apartments. The public backlash has been fueled by this contradiction. Royal commentator Richard Palmer noted that people are already confused by Beatrice and Eugenie because they have titles, but they don't do anything for the monarchy or the nation. This creates a perception of all the privileges with none of the responsibilities. The sisters themselves are in a tough spot. A friend reportedly stated that they don't see why they should slope away like criminals when they've done nothing wrong. And they're right. They aren't implicated in their father's wrongdoing, but they're suffering the collateral damage. Their names have appeared in files related to Jeffrey Epstein, not for any wrongdoing, but simply because of their father's association, which brings a fresh wave of public scrutiny. They're caught trying to maintain a low profile while living under a microscope. Friends say they have a great sense of public duty, but in the court of public opinion, the perks they receive, seemingly thanks to their disgraced father, are becoming a liability for the entire monarchy. At the core of all this is the paradox of Beatrice and Eugenie's status. They are princesses, styled as Her Royal Highness, but they are not working royals. This is the crucial difference. Working royals, like the Prince and Princess of Wales, get public funds from the sovereign grant to support their official work. Beatrice and Eugenie, on the other hand, have been encouraged to build their own lives. They both have full-time careers. Beatrice is a vice president at the software company Affinity, and Eugenie is a director at the Hauser V. Worth Art Gallery. They earn their own living and don't get taxpayer money for their security, but they still benefit from the immense privilege that comes with their titles. As one commentator noted, a title like princess opens doors and creates connections, which both sisters have used in their careers and charity work. They are essentially private individuals who get the public perks of being royal. The palace residences are just the most visible and controversial of those perks. While other non-working royals have lived in palace apartments, those deals also face scrutiny. It's why the late Queen ended up covering the market rate rent for Prince and Princess Michael of Kent from her own private funds. The question now is whether King Charles will be forced to do the same for his nieces, or if the pressure will become so great that the privilege is revoked entirely. The future for Beatrice and Eugenie looks more and more uncertain. This whole controversy is part of a much larger conversation about who gets to be royal in the 21st century. Experts predict the sisters could face a dramatically different royal future, one with fewer public appearances and fewer perks. There's even speculation they could eventually lose their royal titles. King Charles already showed he's willing to be decisive when he stripped his brother Andrew of his titles in 2025. Other European monarchies have already removed titles from grandchildren not in the direct line of succession. Some believe it might be cleaner for all involved if the sisters were to quietly drop their titles and use their married names, finally severing the link to the tarnished York name. This shift might already be happening. Eugenie recently stepped down from her role at the Anti-Slavery Collective, a charity she co-founded. While there was some talk of the princesses stepping up to help a monarchy stretched thin by health crises, the consensus seems to be that their association with Andrew just makes them too controversial. But there could be a silver lining. Some commentators suggest the sisters might actually relish shedding the royal links and just getting on with their lives. Both have happy marriages and young families. A life free from the scrutiny and scandal that their titles bring may be a welcome relief. They will likely always be part of the family behind the scenes, but their public role appears to be fading. The story of Beatrice and Eugenie's palace homes isn't just about real estate. It's a snapshot of a monarchy caught between dusty tradition and the modern demand for accountability. A below-market rental deal, reportedly brokered by a disgraced prince to secure his family's legacy, has become a potent symbol of unearned privilege. It highlights the deeply confusing status of non-working royals who have one foot in the world of private careers and the other in the realm of palatial perks. Beatrice and Eugenie are the innocent beneficiaries of a system now under intense fire. They've done nothing wrong, yet they can't escape the shadow of their father's fall from grace. The very privileges he secured for them are now fueling public anger. Their story is a powerful example of how the sins of the father are visited upon the children, especially under the unforgiving glare of the British monarchy. As King Charles pushes for a slimmed-down, more relevant institution, these arrangements threaten to undermine his entire mission. It forces a question the palace can no longer ignore. In a modern monarchy, is there any room left for some royals to work for their keep, while others simply inherit the perks? The answer will define the future of the House of Windsor.